Hey, what's going on, everybody? John here with WikiGameGuides, and here are 12 questions answered about the South Park and the Stick of Truth. First question, which I saw a lot on Twitter, is what rating would you give this game out of 10? I would give this game a 9. I'm a huge South Park fan, and that's a very good rating in my opinion, and I absolutely love this game. There's two sides to this game, I would say. There's the humor side of it, and there's the actual gameplay side of it. And the gameplay is okay, but the humor is fucking hilarious. This game is the funniest game I have ever played, hands down. The second frequently asked question is, how long is this game? It took me about 10 hours to complete the main quests, while skipping some side quests, probably about 12 hours total if you do everything, every side quest along the way. Question number 3, if I am not a South Park fan, would I enjoy this game? Probably not. If you don't like South Park because you think the humor is too crude, this game is not tamer than the show. I mean, this game is just total fan service. There are hundreds and hundreds of references to jokes that they already made in the show. It's very much like the Simpsons game in that way, in that it's for the fans of the show. There's a lot of original humor in this game as well, but if you don't like South Park because of how crude it is, you're not going to like this game. If you don't like South Park because you think the animation's crappy, this game did an amazing job at recreating the look of the show, so it looks very much like the show, as you can tell. But yeah, if you're not a fan, I would not recommend this game. Question number 4 from Dylan Kurtz on Twitter. It can't possibly be worth $60, right? I think so. I really, really enjoyed this game. Think of it like a full season of South Park. That's how I kind of see this game. It's like a special side season or something like that. If you are a fan of South Park, then yes, I think this is worth $60. Absolutely. Like if you've bought DVD box sets in the past, or any other South Park memorabilia or items or anything like that, then yes, 100% this is worth it. If you're so on South Park, not an enormous fan, I would get it when it comes down to $30 or something like that, when it has a price drop inevitably in a Steam summer sale or something like that. Question number 5, what are the collectibles like in this game? There are 100 friends you need to find. There are 30 Chin Pokemon that you have to find. There are a ton of items and outfits that you have to find throughout the game. Now, unfortunately, there are collectibles that you can miss. There are a lot of Chin Pokemon that are time sensitive, I guess you can say, that you can only get during a mission, and if you miss it, it's gone. So that's pretty frustrating, actually. But there's a lot of funny stuff to find and collect throughout the game. Question number 6 from RVB Freak on Twitter. He wrote, South Park has always tried to push the boundaries of what is acceptable on TV. Does the Stick of Truth do the same for the gaming industry? Yes, absolutely. There is a scene like right before the abortion scene where they make some jokes about the ESRB kind of trying to, their sensor going off, and this is by far the dirtiest game I've ever seen. In fact, the American version of this game is different from the European and the Australian and the British versions of this game. The American version is the only, as far as I know, the only completely uncensored version of this game, whereas the other territories all have different versions, particularly around the abortion scene. Question number 7, what other games does this game most closely resemble? And any bugs or glitches, any difficulty settings. So Dalton D89 got like 4 questions in on one tweet there. All right, first part of that. This game most closely resembles, I would say, Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars on the Super Nintendo, at least in terms of combat. Because it has this, at least that was the first game that I had played, the first turn-based RPG that has this kind of active combat system where you have to time your second button press correctly to get bonus damage. And then you can also block attacks as well by having good timing. Any bugs or glitches? No, I've had no problems with it. Now, the only There are some weird design issues that come into play because of the art style of the game and how much it looks like the show, where it can be very hard at times to see your next objective just because of the flatness of all the characters in the environments. But other than that, no bugs or glitches at all. And the third part, any difficulty settings. Yes, there's easy, medium, or easy, normal, and hardcore. I believe there are 3 different names. And you can change those at any time throughout the game on in the pause menu. I played through on normal my first time, and I died maybe once the entire game. And just from what I've read on some forums and reviews, the hardcore difficulty is also quite easy as well. This game is more about the South Park world, and not so much about crazy hardcore. Question 8, Galanti asked, how many different ways are there to kill Kenny? Lots and lots. Kenny is one of your buddies that you can play with in this game, and you can use them as your partner through a lot of the game. Not all the time. It kind of varies chapter by chapter what side of the battle you're on and whether or not Kenny can play with you. But there is an achievement letting Kenny die 10 times in combat called You Bastards. Dalton D snuck in another question from Twitter. Do they make any references to any early stuff, or is it all for more recent seasons? Some first season jokes would be nice. Yes, their references are all over the board in terms of seasonality. It's not like the Simpsons game where they focus on the early season funniness. This game focuses on every season of the show, including first season as well. Like, I guess the 2 big jokes from the first season are you can get the David Hasselhoff rhinoplasty and then have his face as your character's face for as long as you want in the game, which I did, which I thought was hilarious. And then there's also a pretty long alien abduction sequence referencing the visitors that first show up in the first season. The only character that didn't show up in this game that I really wanted to show up is Towley. Now, Towley shows up on a loading screen. It's just kind of a loading screen animation, but he does not make an appearance at all, and I was pretty bummed out about that, actually. Mr. 2049 asked, how many playthroughs for 1,000 Gamerscore on the Xbox 360? That's a good question. You could get away with 1 playthrough. You can save and revert saves at any time throughout the game. So there are a couple areas where you have to choose A or B, and you get achievements for doing both. So you can save and then reload and go the other way. There's also a couple achievements that are game-long achievements, like don't sell any junk for the entire game, or using different characters for longer amounts of time. But so if you could get away with 1 playthrough, but most likely I would go for 2, just to enjoy the first playthrough and then kind of grind out those missed achievements the second time. Mr. 2049 then asked, any recommended classes, and what do you think is the most fun to play as, and also any funny scenes that can be missed? Yeah, there are a lot of side quests that you can completely avoid if you just want to stick to the main quest, and I guess those can be missed. Like there's a long man-bear-pig sequence with Al Gore, and some Finding Jesus sections, and some other stuff like that I'll try not to spoil it. But yeah, there is some stuff that you can miss, so it really pays to kind of, look at all the details and read the items and stuff like that, because there's a lot of very subtle jokes in this game that are easy to miss. On the second half of this question, any recommended classes? There are 4 classes that you choose from, and unfortunately, I have not spent enough time with all 4 classes to really give you a good answer at this point. I've seen a lot of people really recommending the Thief class. I played through as a fighter my first time, which I enjoyed. I didn't find it boring by any means, but a lot of people are saying the Thief class is the class of choice, just for fun. And question number 12 from Human Killer X on Twitch. What's the extent of characters available for you to party with? You have 5 available buddies to party up with. You get to use 1 at a time, and which ones you get to use depends on what part of the game you're at. But you get to use Jimmy, Kyle, Cartman, Butters, Kenny, Stan, and Jimmy. All right, thanks for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it answered some questions. If you have more questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section, and I'll do my best to answer them. If you're new to the channel, Be sure to subscribe for more updates. I'm going to continue this 12 question series. I'm really enjoying doing this for new games that people maybe don't know a lot about. And it seems like a really good way to just kind of get some interesting questions out there. If you want to submit questions for a future game, be sure to follow me on Twitter at JohnTarJR. I pulled most of these questions from Twitter just in a couple minutes. And then I frequently do live streams at Twitch TV/WikiGameGuides as well. So thanks for watching. Game on.